We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
All of your internet belong to us now.
I forgot to do a colloquial joke about my gamer tag, so I'm just going to say that my new hair gel is making me look more like a Targaryen than normal. All live, none of it scripted. I apologize for nothing. With me tonight, as always, at least on my screen, to my immediate left, right, reverse. He might be underneath me. I don't know. Grindzilla himself, Grindhead Jim. Jim, how are you tonight?
You're above me, which is fine. That's cool. Just just gravity bias. I don't care. Just put the fat guy on the bottom. It's fine. It's good to see you.
Ryan is here. Ryan, I have no gamer tag. We're gonna add that to the Patreon. We're gonna just take votes for if you give enough money or something, then you get to pick Ryan's gamer tag. What could go wrong?
We'll have to give choices because otherwise we're gonna get some really weird.
Especially running around Steam this week. Do you see all the gamer God damn it.
Good God.
Save it.
Oh,
Don't
man.
I want to get into that. Save it. Oh yeah, don't. It's too early. Don't premature. Never mind. Anyway, tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta get a towel.
You had to go there. That's fine. I was thinking it. A dude I met at Guardian Con, and I was like, "Hi, and he's like, "I know you." I'm like, "Really?"
But the video, the Peregrine Greaves.
I've been looking forward to this since that moment. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know DanDrumStone, you're probably not into drums or Destiny. Then you wouldn't be watching this anyway.
Yeah.
But for one of our audio listeners and you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, DanDrumStone. Dan, how are you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited.
No, thank you for coming in. Oh shit. All right. So we kind of touched on this. I didn't really get to say this while we were chatting before the show. Let's talk about Destiny up front, because I know where the conversation is going to be.
Because if we were the podcast, and this happens on a lot of them, podcast starts at, and whatever your topic of choice is. Ours would be at in the bottom when you leave this podcast and go to another.
I
know tonight's just gonna be awesome. I know this already because
there's a lot to talk about,
dude. Let's start with the gamer tag thing because we've already broached it.
Might as well, dude. Might as well, man.
I've seen things I can't unsee. My favorite personally was in the kill feed is Bungie Shotguns Activision.
That's a good one.
That's clever.
Jim, I know you've
Today,
memorized probably a laundry list.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Today there was a standout in competitive, queued with him 4 times in a row. Scrota of Crota, and I was like, well played, sir. I was like, that's some good stuff right there. And you know, of course, you think about like the sword mechanic and then the name, and you're like, it's funny because you know, it was good. I laughed a lot. I saw a bunch. Have you guys? This is a legitimate question because I don't understand it. Are you guys seeing like symbols in names like swords and stuff? I'm wondering if that is the censorship.
No,
Yeah,
well, I don't know how it works, but I know it's called the Bungie keyboard. I don't know if it's an app you download.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's because there was actually somebody's name. I think Sloth was talking about it. It was like fusion rifle, shotgun, fusion rifle.
Yeah.
Like and that was the whole way. So yeah, it's. I don't know how to do it, but I know you can do it. So yeah,
And the thing is, if that's the case, if you can do it like on demand, like I would throw people off the scent. So I'd put like sniper rifle sidearm, because I don't use those. And then show up with insurmountable skull fort and a shotgun and be like, "Look at me!" You know, look at me. Yeah, there's
look at me. I am the captain now.
Yes,
I went for
but
it.
Steam's a lot different than BattleNet, and Steam has a certain censorship guidelines, and it's funny. Some stuff flies, other stuff doesn't. It's hilarious. Like if you have the word Steam in your name, it's asterisked out. There's like legitimate of people I know that have like a whole big chunk of their name out because it just happens to spell Steam.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a lot of derogatory Steam usernames apparently.
Oh.
And
I saw
it's just bizarre.
I saw a guy running around literally called "Thank You Steam," and it wasn't blocked out.
I mean, what is?
Yeah, it's the weird like
positive, I guess.
I mean, that's great. Maybe it's because it's nice. And thank you, Steam. You can have that. But, you know, random occurrences. No, get that out of there. That could be bad. We could take this, the wrong way. Understand it. But I mean, launch day we talked about last week. Servers went down for 3 hours. We had no idea what we were in for. None. Zero. Servers had like more maintenance in the last week than they've had in the last 3 years. Not complaining, just an observation.
Just they had to upgrade them just to be able to process all these fucking names.
Well, right.
I wonder how many new people
the names alone
came on board. Have they said anything about that? Like how many new people like tried it out for the? Because I know just friends of mine that I've been talking about this game for years are like, hey, I finally tried it, or I tried it this weekend. It's really fun. That just because it's free, which is really cool, but there's got to be like. Just all over the world, everyone that has Steam, that's like, oh, free game.
I think I actually
right, exactly. They haven't said anything official yet. I'm guessing the TWAB will probably give some kind of a, wow, you took us by surprise thing. But I've just seen virtue of looking at people's gear and noting that they have a ton of stuff yet. Stuff that the way they're playing, you would assume they would be using.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, I'd say at least 1 out of 4 people I see in the game are new, which is a great feeling. So, it's great.
Yeah.
I saw some numbers in the sense of 3 million concurrent players across all of the servers at one point, and then 300,000 concurrent on PC. And again, I don't know what day that was. I just randomly saw those on, I think it was just on Twitter that Bungie put up numbers real quick. But yeah, those are the only numbers I've seen.
Yeah. I've actually never used Destiny Tracker on a PC before, so I have no idea what I'm looking at. So much for that.
Fair.
But what's neat is like I'm sure I feel like a lot of people that are trying it out are sticking with it, because sometimes you get that free game and you're like this isn't for me, and then you just uninstall it like within an hour. But it seems like people are really latching onto it and enjoying it, which is neat.
Do you guys know this?
I'd say the biggest factor in that is the loot.
Do you know this?
Because loot's dropping like crazy.
Boop was asking this on Twitter earlier. I figured we could dive off here. For a little bit, if you were doing the free, the free Destiny, it would give you the Forsaken. Remember, they were doing that for a couple of weeks leading up to Shadowkeep. But did they take that away now? Do you have to buy Forsaken?
No. Basically, you get a lot of what was in the annual pass from Forsaken, and you get the destination.
Right.
Basically, you don't get campaign and you don't get the raid. You basically get everything else.
Okay, so they did change it then, because before they switched on Shadowkeep, if you were doing the new, the new one, you would get all of it. So they changed that.
Yeah, I thought you were getting everything.
You were getting everything.
They gave you the...
No, before they switched on Shadowkeep, you were getting everything. So
I thought you got everything up to Forsaken.
No, you got everything including Forsaken. And you also and here's how I know that my son, I never bought him not the Forsaken, but the 3 seasons. I never got him for him. And we went to go get him, and it was the day after they shut down. You couldn't buy anything anymore on Blizzard. So we were, he was playing, and he goes, "Oh, the forges are open," and everything else was there, and he's like, "Oh," so they were doing that for a minute.
Gave out.
So right, that's what
those they gave out.
But they'd also given out the Forsaken DLC, the expand. Yes, they did. I'm telling. I experienced this myself.
I can pull up. I understand, but I can pull up Twitter posts of what they announced as far as what was going to happen when things went live. Maybe he had access to it before, which is awesome. But what was supposed to happen is that everyone basically got the annual pass. Everybody gets everything of Forsaken, including game modes, except for the campaign and the raid. That's basically the only stuff you don't get now for free.
That's
so the forges would be open. Yeah.
Right.
So Boop, we can't answer this question either.
I haven't booted it up on like PlayStation and all that. I haven't tried anything like that.
What platform you play
on? PC now. I switched last August. No, a year ago. So yeah, right before Forsaken was when I switched. And I don't want to go back. It's so nice.
We glazed over this because I'm so familiar with you. Dan, for people who may not be familiar with you, could you briefly explain what it is you do and what you're about in the internet?
On the internet world? Yeah.
It's multifaceted, bro.
Yeah, I'm a professional drummer. Been doing this for a long, long time, but Destiny's what brought me to Twitch. Like, just, getting hooked on that. God, was it now 4 years ago? 5 years? I don't even know. But I got really big into PvP, and I started a Twitch channel just to record games. And go back, like, we took it pretty hardcore doing like scrims and stuff, and then I started streaming drumming about 3 years ago, and yeah, so on the internet, no one else knows me if you're not into drumming or Destiny, but it's a neat hobby that turned into kind of a job, so in a good way. It's really fun. But
now you're gonna start.
It's me in a nutshell.
You're gonna start streaming gameplay.
I'm gonna bury the lead here a little bit.
Okay.
Have you considered setting up a trigger setup on your drums and then playing Destiny with triggers?
So you're gonna rock band the shit out of it?
No, I don't know if I could do that. I'll leave. Didn't Glad do that? I'll leave that to him. Like I thought he did something.
Yeah, but a real drummer on real drums playing PvP would be amazing.
Then I'd have to get triggers and do all that stuff. That sounds.
I'll lend you mine, bro. Lend you mine.
Yeah, I streamed Destiny the other night, and just to get back into it, I I think I'm gonna do like one night a week, kind of Destiny stream thing, because I stream drumming probably 25 hours a week. I stream just drum set playing on the channel, and recordings the other gig, and I'm like a lumberjack since we moved this last year. We got a sawmill, and I'm like big into that stuff, as you can see, surrounded by old wood all over the place. So usually like at nighttime I'm just like, I just pass out. So I'm really trying to like incorporate a Destiny stream into the rotation to kind of really keep me up to date with what's happening, because I really miss it. I miss the people and just hanging out with the usuals.
How do you walk into a sawmill? That's
very happily. I lived in LA for like 18 years, and we moved back last year, and yeah, just getting into like making drums and sticks and just furniture, and we just built a horse barn for my sister. So I'm like built
a horse barn, no big deal.
Yeah. So it's I was there today making drumsticks. So dude, I'll send you guys some sticks if you want some.
I could use a horse barn.
I can use a few pair. The ones that I have, beat up.
So
You do nylon tips, bro?
We're in the process of expanding our barn right now. So
nylon tips.
Yeah. Well, we finished the horse barn. We're working on today was we're building a kiln for like drying the wood and all that. So that's what we're doing this coming week too. So I keep busy. That's kind of me in a nutshell. Is drums, Destiny, and trees, I guess. I don't know.
There you
apparently horses soon too.
We got 2, and that's enough.
I got a couple more.
Yeah. They're a lot of work, man. Yeah.
So
that
we
sounds
have
like a foreign film. 2 horses is enough. It sounds like a French film
I've got
about ice cream. You're like, what?
I've got 49 more of them fuckers.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that many.
we're
You're
at
51?
We're at 51. So
Wow. That's a lot.
yeah.
But you know what? If we ever have an apocalypse, that's a lot of easy.
I'll be able to get to Canada.
I'm just thinking, like, of all the poop, that's a lot of poop.
That
Like,
is a lot.
Yes.
you better have a big
Your
skid steer
methane
bucket.
footprint, sir.
So, all right.
Part of the problem.
This is one thing I promised I would never talk about, just because nobody wants to hear about horse care. But
Okay.
real quick, the way that we do this is we have 3 full-time workers. Usually my wife and then 2 other people are there during the day. And what they do, they take big buckets into a stall, pitchfork in the poop and whatever urine spots are there. And then we have these Kubotas that are basically like gators with a dump bed on the back of them. We literally drive them down the aisle, take the buckets, dump them, and then take it out to the dump pile. So that's how we do it.
A lot. It's a lot of poop.
It is. It's
That is
absolutely.
one big pile of shit.
Yeah.
I'll send you
Probably at
pictures
the
on
end.
Twitter. So
The memes one could create from just a few pictures and a normal day for you. That would be amazing. You just put like, the first one that comes to mind, you get a bucket with all that stuff in it, and you just put text over the top that says comments on YouTube.
I mean, I was thinking a picture of that and then naming it Activision, but
I mean, there's another one. I mean, now you can add Blizzard to that. Technically Activision.
I was so happy I could actually just get Man-at-Arms without any like add-ons. I was shocked.
No
I was like,
underscore.
Go for Steam.
I could just be Man-at-Arms. Wow.
The reason
I'm gonna hold
the
on to
reason
that.
you can do that. The reason you can do that is because when you create a Steam account, they give you a unique user ID that's numbers. You can change your name to anything, and there can be other people that have that name.
Don't say it to
And
me.
I mean, you saw the names that went through. Okay.
Yeah, I did a.
I mean, I saw someone today named Pussy Destroyer. Okay.
Jeez.
And
Dude.
yeah, numbers with numbers, and I was like, the thing is that when I see that, when I see that they had to go to the length of replacing letters with numbers to make that happen, it's like, you're that dedicated to that name that you had to go with leet speak to make that happen. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be impressed or just that's pathetic.
So I'm
Because
thinking Steam is
they-
more liberal than Xbox with the whole gamer tag thing.
Yeah.
It's not an organic ear, that's for sure.
No. PU55Y DE5, you know, that's what it was. And I'm just thinking of this robot going, seems okay to me. Click approve. Yeah, it's insane. But what's funny to me about this, because traditionally
He doesn't ever stop, does
we haven't
he?
had this problem. No, I don't. But now we're on Steam, and I'm seeing names in the game that I've never ever seen. That's interesting to me. It's
It
scary.
makes it a little more entertaining,
Oh.
like a PvP match.
Yeah, facts. I gotta get my PC account up this week. I need to bite the bullet and I can do it.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation. Let's not even get that started.
A buddy back on PS3 whose gamer tag was "I beat in your butt."
Dude, my favorite one all time, Xbox, and we accidentally got him banned out of admiration, was old Satan Zanus. I've said it before. So it's like, this dude has the greatest gamer tag, and it got reported, and we got our buddy banned. It was just like, I feel bad now. I will never see him again.
And it was actually clever.
We didn't know him. It was just like, I was killed by that dude too.
He's really good.
Oh shit. Anyway, all right. Okay. I'm fucking changing the subject because this will go on for hours.
Torium on the names thing, because that could be a whole show.
We'll get Hammer to do that one night. All right, so I got to hang out in Dan's stream. Dan always streams when I'm at work, so it doesn't really work out because I can watch, I just can't. They don't care what I watch, but they have problems with the audio. They're like, "What are you doing?" Nothing. I'm fine.
They just want to know
He's
what all
like,
that screaming is. That's all.
Yeah.
Who's chat?
I yell a
Who's
lot
chat?
sometimes.
But I know for a fact he's gotten to play the least because well, I think it was it Saturday? Was your first day getting to actually try it out, or Friday?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I was at TwitchCon, and then I just came back, just catching up on stuff. And every day I wanted to play, but I had to stream too, just trying to get that schedule back into play. But I was like, Saturday night, I'm going to play. And then the Joker came out. I had to go see that on Friday, which was really good. But I got a good 5-6 hours on Saturday. So I started the campaign and did some PvP. I liked it. I thought it felt I don't know, the excitement was there a little bit, because when I switched to PC, but right before Forsaken came out, that magic was gone for me. Like, I didn't have that, like, I want to stay up and get 1 hour of sleep for like a whole year, and I'm totally okay with it because I love the game. I was like, I don't want to stay up. Like, there was nothing there to really keep me excited rather than just playing with my friends. But the excitement's back for me. I don't know, maybe it's just all the hubbub around it and all the new people and everything that's going on, but I'm really excited to play more and get more into it, because I played D1 like a crazy man way back in the day. And I don't know, D2 in the beginning, it was really fun. And then after Leviathan, it just kind of petered out for me a little bit, but it's back.
That was pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what it was that did that, but the desire to like be on a lot,
Sorry.
What
Something in my throat.
just happened?
What the hell just happened to Jim?
He went 8-bit.
Someone clip this. This is amazing.
Great.
I see an eyeball.
Wow, that's great, guys.
He looks like he just plugged in an old school video game console to a new TV.
I mean,
I feel amazing
I haven't
now.
seen something like this since like Nintendo, when you used to have to blow in the cartridges.
No.
And now he's gone to gray.
No,
This
he's
is
back. He's back.
Hey!
Yeah, I
Can we get
restarted
F's in the
it.
chat for Jim? F's in the chat, please. F's. God, God, I'm a horrible friend.
No, it's all right, dude. It's fine. It's fine.
Let's do the 20 Destiny questions with Dan. It says I'll start.
Yeah.
What is your main subclass?
Hunter. Night
Well,
Stalker.
We got 19 extra questions for somebody else.
No,
Let's see. Where's that
He's not a
person?
warlock. I mean,
Oh, well, I'll make it worse. In D1, I had all 3 characters when I started. I started with a Hunter, made a Titan, made a Warlock, played them all. After King's Fall, and I really started getting into like PvP pretty crazily, I deleted the Titan and the Warlock and made 2 more Hunters. So I had 3 Hunters, and then yeah, I haven't.
I admire this dedication on certain of them. I mean,
It was a little crazy, yeah.
I disagree, but I respect it.
I don't know. Like I gave every character, you know, I had some decent play time with them, and I understood the subclasses. But just like when I sat down to play, if I was playing on a Titan, I was always like, oh, I wish I was on my Hunter, especially for PvP. It just felt more me. I don't know. It's weird, but
I'm always like for one match when I switch characters and then I get into the groove. Always takes me like a match to get back into it.
yeah.
Just kind of gotten to a place where jumping back and forth isn't so. I can't do it on the fly. Like basically, if I'm playing on a character, I've got to do it for at least an hour or 2, and then I gotta switch.
Yeah.
I am a lot better at warlocks and hunters than I give myself credit for. I enjoy playing Titan the most, even though I have a lot of enjoyment on the other 2. It's always kind of like eating your vegetables to come back to the main dish or your dessert kind of thing.
Yeah,
And,
but then I was like, well, I could have 3 desserts. So
Right.
I just made all the Hunters. But that was the worst part, was just like going through the campaigns to get like all the levels back up back in the day.
What subclass do you primarily play as?
Night Stalker. Like I very rarely touch any of the other ones. Yeah, I'll be that guy. You know, they're like, we need a golden gun. I'll be like, sorry. I don't have any like Celestial Nighthawk. You know, you know. Back
I
in the
thought we
day.
8 Night Stalkers. So I mean,
We had a bad. Well, I never played Spectral Blade.
I don't like those.
I tried it and
No.
it just wasn't my style.
I have this picture of you really wanting to be a stripper, but not having a strip club around, so you just like to run around with the pole.
I want on record. I didn't bring it up this time.
I'm excited and I'm kicking myself. I didn't try it last Saturday, but like the new quiver, like you can kill people with 1 shot and stuff.
It's
like,
rude.
I'm actually really excited about that.
very rude.
It's rude. Oh my god, dude.
It's a
Don't
lot of
put
fun
that
in
in.
lost sectors though too.
Oh.
Because like when you do the multi quiver, basically you just save your super towards the end, and then when the nightmare pops, you just go okay, choom 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 choom, and then
Nice.
maybe you might have to like tap him and he's done.
Really?
Stuff everywhere.
But you got to be careful. You either have to have a little forward momentum or jump straight up. Because if you're moving backward and you start doing that, you will slowly back yourself off the ledge from all of the blowback from the arrows. And yeah, that was embarrassing the first time I did it. Like, yeah, go, buddy, we do. Guardian down. Like,
Because I hopped into PvP with just like the old mindset, and every time I'm like, oh, that's right, I can like not. I don't have to aim it at a wall. I can actually try to kill someone with it. But
Oh no, like the one PvP game I've managed to play, which is I know completely upside down and backwards to our regular listeners. A dude broke that out on me, and I think I screamed "There is no God" at one point. Because it's just purple everywhere. There is no God.
that might have been me.
So why have you
Play a lot of
forsaken
last
me?
week. Right?
So yeah, the next
Nuts.
time you jump on, do that immediately, bro. Even I respect it. I'm like, this is dirty.
yeah, it feels good. I don't know that. Well, I've always just played it regardless of like how powerful whatever subclass is. Like I just enjoy the dodging and the invisibility and the map. What's the word? Like the neutral game of the Night Stalker. Like that's just always been my kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
It's a very utilitarian subclass. Like it's versatile. You can use it in PvE and PvP to great effect, even when it was at its worst. And now that it's very powerful without being broken, which is, when I read the changes, I'm like, I might raise my blood pressure over this, but it hasn't been. I've never felt unfairly outmatched by a Night Stalker at this point. Granted, I haven't played Mayhem yet. Yeah, when Mayhem comes,
I'm hoping it's coming one day. Yeah. Oh, Mayhem with Quiver.
Well, I mean, again, and I say unfairly, because it's something where, like, if I get shot, I'm like, you know what? Hey, good shot.
Can a Quiver take down a super, like a roaming super? I wonder.
It can take you out of the super.
Yeah,
I don't think. I think that if you have the singles, if top tree, I believe, can. Bottom tree will take you out of the super. It'll take multiple hits to kill them. That's my understanding of it. I will test it sometime and I'll tweet at you.
It's not like I can run anywhere after I get hit by the first one.
Truth.
I'm just there staring at the sky.
And they're supposed to catch quicker too, like the grabby, the grabbiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very. Ew! I'm stuck. It's not fun. If you're on that side of it. Yeah.
I started out as a hunter, then I had an attack of consciousness. But that's how the story. It's like, this is wrong. This is just wrong.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I was the worst. I was a blade dancer. I was a different level of scum than you'll ever be, so it's fine.
Oh, the early. I used to play Blade Dancer before Night Stalker came out. Yeah, I never liked Golden Gun. I don't know. Like, it was not that it was boring, but I don't know. It just never. Like, I already had like 3-4 guns. Like, just a super with another gun. It just going all electric and flip it around was kind of cool.
You don't get the separation, like the space magic separation.
Yeah.
To a gun. From a gun to a bigger gun.
Right.
Another gun. Yeah.
It's like you're building to a great breakdown, then you get one note. It doesn't see its way through to the chorus, which is what it's supposed to do. Because you're like, yeah, blow, and then, I'm just shooting people still. Seems kind of anticlimactic. Yeah.
That's actually what made me want to become a Titan. Because when I got my own account, I continued to play a hunter with Kenny, and I was playing PvP and. This Titan just came through a doorway, nobody saw him, and killed like 5 of us, just Titan smash. And I'm like, well, I want to be able to do that.
Like, go through the wall.
Let me try that. And just never played again. I was like, wait, I could have been doing this all these years. I've been living life wrong.
And there's an interesting thing about people that main Gunslinger. They are conditioned to hang on to that super at all costs.
Yeah.
With PvE and the way that Gunslinger works. I was in a match today. It was a 2-3. We had run 2 rounds. They had won 3. It was round for them. And the final guy down, our guy was a gunslinger. He had super. I'm staring at him and I'm yelling to the mic, "Pop your super! Pop your super!" Because there's 2 of them, and they were together. And he waited, and then they popped their super, and he didn't even try to pop a super, and he got like, "What are you saving it for? If you don't win this for us, the match is over. You don't get to save the super into the next match you go into. Do this thing."
Yeah, they're the newbies. They're going, "Oh, what's that?"
Right.
They're like throwing granades trying to get their super going.
Yeah. And the next match I was in, it was with a pole dancer, and it was one of these things where it was same situation, two rounds versus 3, and we all went down, which was for those rounds up to that point we were doing better than we usually were. So happened that he was the last one standing. I was like, round's over. I don't expect him to be able to pull this off. This is going to be rough because they all have their supers. There's 3 of them, 1 of him. I don't blame him. I'm not mad, but round's over. Switch camera and I see him pop his super and then and just took him out. I was like, because it was like, see, that's what the last guy was supposed to do. That's the last guy was supposed to do. And and we won. It felt good. Yeah. But that shows you an inherent difference between how people feel about popping super. It's weird, and you could say that about different subclasses for everybody. It's weird.
Yeah.
But Night Stalkers never have that problem. Ever.
Yeah, with PvP, like I said, we used to do like scrims, and we had like scrim leagues and stuff, and they'd always say like, oh, you're gonna be a Night Stalker. Like, it's not always in like the negative, but I always tried to use it like in a way to, I don't know, that was part of the reason I think I like it, is like using that defense abilities with it, like in a strategic way to shut, I don't know. That always kind of got.
Sometimes you can just use it for map control too.
Yeah. So with scrims, like you could use it, to combat roaming supers, or you could use it just to lock down heavy, or catch people off guard, with a super around the corner.
I've seen people use it to force people into a sniper lane. So you got a sniper back here, and you see him going around a corner. They can go one of two ways. In the sniper lane, you block them with the tether, so they have to avoid it. And they go down that hall and ping, ping, ping.
Yeah, it was neat. I always used to shoot it at a wall, like across the map, kind of. But it shows up as like, oh, okay, red on their radar, and then we'd always loop around and kind of trick. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun to kind of use it in that kind of sneaky huntery way, but.
I have a buddy that's what class he plays, right? That was the first question.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll keep him as one.
No, I was joking. We actually got number 4 in there. Just
we actually don't. Have
that's just how I usually break up Jim when he gets into a very long diatribe.
I was gonna say I got a buddy. I'm Sassy, he's actually like a top 1% type PvP dude, and
nice.
He named the Night Stalker, and he's not a flashy, like triple rec type player. He is just a sick, devious bastard. Tactical. And so he'll like drop a tether over a doorway that he knows they have to come through, and like go position himself here and wait, 10 seconds later they come through and all you hit with the tether, and he's just laughing, throwing smoke, and it's just like, you're Satan. You are actually Satan.
Yeah. It's fun.
But he knows where not to stand. He's like, so I know when he's one of those dudes, like, he goes, I know when they come around this corner, they're going to think I'm standing here. So I'm not going to stand there. I'm going to stand over there.
Well, it's fun when it works, though, right? If your plan works, when it goes completely wrong and like the velociraptor's like staring you in the side of the face, then you feel kind of stupid. Yeah. Like, I'm going to put this tether right here, and then everyone just walks around and you're like, come on, man.
I have no experience in planning. I just time.
What I've been finding lately, especially at solo queue, people have forgotten that the outer edges of the map exist. They're always coming right up the center or going through certain things. So I'll watch my guys go off that way. I'm like, I'll just go around the complete other side of the map, come up behind them and go, hey, and say, nice to see ya. I got more Annihilation medals today than I did like all last season.
Nice.
Jim, your connection.
Just because people don't have map control.
Yep.
That would be a good time to do like the, I guess, competitive grind if you're going to do it with all these new people coming in,
He was pointing out that you're having connection issues, Jim.
Hey.
I'm going to stop untyping now. Untyping? Typing. Whatever. Okay, well, the big question, what got you into Destiny?
Batman. That's the weirdest story. Yeah. We were in Trader Joe's, and there was a Best Buy by Trader Joe's, and any excuse to leave Trader Joe's.
Hold on, pause 1 second. What got you into Destiny? Batman. We were in Trader Joe's. Best Buy.
Yeah.
This is the start of the best story ever.
Yes, yeah. So I told my wife, I'm like, I'm just gonna go over and look, just go over. And she comes over, meets me, and I have a PlayStation 4 in my hand at the checkout, and I'm like, well, the new Batman game's coming out for PlayStation 4. It was Arkham
Asylum
City. It was the second one.
Yeah, City.
Yeah.
Arkham City, yeah. And I'm like, I have to play this, and it was coming out on PS4. So she's like looked at me like, you're nuts.
Hang
and
on
then
1 second, Dan. Jim,
yes.
turn your video off, Jim, please.
And go
Thank
to
you.
your corner.
All right. Sorry about
Fine.
that.
No, it's okay. And then Batman got delayed till like October, November. So I had this PlayStation 4 with no game. So I bought Destiny and just played it by myself for probably 2 months. And then I really wanted to do the raid that I kept, I just got into the game. I started watching videos on it, just how-to things. I'm like, oh, there's a raid. This is crazy. And I never played online games with anybody. I played like Call of Duty, but I always just muted everyone and just did my own thing.
Better off that way.
So when you're sitting there though, and your Batman has gotten delayed, and you're choosing from all of the games, which I know there wasn't a ton of games available for PS4, but there was definitely some other choices. What made you choose Destiny? Was it like like you were a recovering Halo idiot, or what was your...
I didn't play Halo. I've never had an Xbox. I was really touring and doing music stuff like when Xbox really popped and like Halo was going. So I never got to like really get into Halo. And that's one of the reasons I picked Destiny, because I'm like, I've always wanted to play a Bungie game. I've heard nothing but good things. The cover looked cool and the premise behind it. And then because they kind of marketed it as like a open worldy kind of thing, if I remember right. I'm like, oh, I was just playing Skyrim back in the day, like before that, pretty heavily. So I just thought it looked cool compared to everything else. I didn't want to do any more Call of Duty. I was like Call of Duty'd out, so that didn't interest me. So yeah, I picked it up. I think like the day or two after it came out. So I wasn't like a day one Guardian, but I was close.
Fair enough.
Closer than a lot of other people.
Yeah. And like I just played alone for months, and then I heard about LFGs on like some video that I was watching. So I did an LFG with these Russian dudes. I was like, they're like, okay, we do vault the glass. You just stand here, don't move. And I just be like, I hit my gun, and like they're doing all this stuff, and then I'd just be like, the loot would drop. I'm like, oh, right on, we did something. And then we'd go, and they're like, okay, just die here, go to orbit. You remember the jumping puzzle? And they're like, just come back in now. And I had no idea what was happening. Like
You could
literally learn
really,
nothing.
yes? He's good gun. He's a good gun.
Yeah, I couldn't understand anything they were saying. I just, you hear all the...
There is supplicants.
Yeah, remember the supplicants are like, go in this room. So all I hear is like, just like noises and craziness. I'm like, this is the craziest night of my life.
It's the greatest story ever.
Yeah. And then like they pushed Atheon off, and I'm like, this is a raid? Like, I guess this is cool, but I thought it was way more than that at the time. But that really got me excited. I'm like, no, I want to learn this. I want to do it right. So I found some people to do it with. Like I joined a Dad's Destiny clan, and it was fun. I don't know. The people, the community is really what got me excited about the game, I think. Because if I did the raid and just remember back in the day, that was it. Like there was nothing else to do except maybe like a Nightfall every week, And I wasn't into PvP back then, so.
I'm laughing at the chat.
Oh.
Stand here,
comrade. Things that come at you.
I've had this exact same experience.
It's exactly what happened. Yeah, and I remember I had a headset. Yeah, I had a headset, and I'm just standing there. And they're because they're like, okay, don't come out of this room until we say. And I'm just like, okay. And just even the entry point, remember like you had to stand on the plates and stuff, and they're like, just stay in plate, don't move. Can I shoot something? Like, can I help? They're like, we got this. And like there was literally two guys carrying people. Like there was other people like me too. We're just like standing there awkwardly together, like, hey man, like, don't know what's going on. They were good players though. Yeah. So that was my first like playing with people. But after that, joining the clan, it was really neat because we were having babies at that time, so it's like always up, late and just being, on call for baby duties. So it was always neat to hop on and play some strikes or whatever with people that I'm still friends with now, and that were at Guardian Con and this past summer. So it's just, I don't know, it's a special game for me.
That was my next question. It's like, so how did you bridge being a quasi-filthy hunter subclass and drumming on Twitch?
Yeah.
How did we get...
Yeah, well...
How did you get DanDrumStone?
That's my name's literally Dan Stone, and that's my old PlayStation name. Dan Stone Drum was taken. I'll never forget. And I'm like, how does someone have this name? I couldn't get it, so I just switched it, and then it just kind of stuck. And I made the channel, like I said, for PvP stuff. And what I do, like as a day job, I do remote recording sessions. So this room is all mic'd up. There's stuff over here to record. I write, record songs for people, and then through the internet, they just go onto recordings or to albums. And I've been doing that for almost 12 years now. So I had all the stuff to do kind of a stream, but I never got into like cameras and all that stuff. So one day, all my Destiny buddies, I'm like, hey, can you like log in, just check out my Twitch channel? And like a couple guys popped in, and they're like, what? Because I'm like, hey, like trying to figure out, what to do with drumming. But I had everything to kind of audio-wise to make it work. And I was a teacher at the time, like a private drum instructor. So with the channel, I thought doing like teaching, play along stuff. My stream is very drum nerdy. Like when you come in here, it's just like, we just talk about like snare drums and like the wood and like for hours.
Yep. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I clicked on it just to look at it, and I got sucked in for 35 minutes going, oh, I like this guy. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, like it's basically what the stuff that I really like to do, like just talk about drums. And a lot of my early viewers were all Destiny people. They were guys in the clan, guys that I played with, and we would just hang out during the day, and every night some new people would come in, and I'd have to remember to be like, okay, we can't talk about Destiny. We have to, like talk about drums and stuff. But the Destiny community has always been a big part of my growth on Twitch. There's always been that connection. So yeah, that's how it all started, I guess.
Have you ever thought like combining the two? Because there was a lot of, in the early days of Destiny, there was a lot of like drum covers of like Destiny stuff. And one was really good. With you having so many different musical styles under your belt, being able to kind of pull them out on the fly, has it ever been something you wanted to pursue? Have you thought about it?
Well, I've done stuff for fun, like a Destiny rap song back in the day. We actually played at the Guardian Con in 2017, like with Duba and Daddy Fat Snaps and Bones. So I've done like...
That was you?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah. I've been around for a long time. Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was like, that's cool.
Combining it like frequently, it's not that I don't have... I'd rather just keep it the way it is, and I don't know.
Fair enough.
I haven't had like any like light bulbs pop on to be like, oh, this is what... If that ever happened, I would, but I don't want to just like make stuff to make stuff. Sure. I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, like you know what I mean.
Rick, have you read JD's comment yet in chat?
I have to ignore half of his.
Destiny buddies, hey man, if you aren't too hideous, you should get a camera.
You gotta put that little qualifier in there. I know you can't go back to the beginning and remake your face, but as long as you don't feel like you have to do that, get a camera.
So like when I watch Dan's streams, you know, like, because you take requests like on the fly, and you know, whatever, depending on your mood and what day it is or whatever. Sometimes it's like, I just want to play this because I want to play this.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what song it was, but it was like a song you picked, and you're just like, I just really wanted to try that. I've never played that song before, and I was like, wait, what? And it was not an easy, straightforward song.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was just like, wow. Because I mean, I played by ear, but I was impressed. I was just like, okay, wait, this,
oh, thanks,
wow.
man. Yeah, well, it's like a process of elimination. That's all it is. You know, as a drummer, right? Like, you hear a song in the first 5 seconds, you can get a vibe of what's going on, and then it's just, you know, eliminate. Okay, it's not this, so it's a guessing game of what it probably is. You know, so that's usually what happens on stream, but a lot of it's improvised. And yeah, certain things I'm not gonna play just because I don't want to. You know, like, some people will come in and they're like, why don't you want to play this jazz song that's in like 47/32 that's played at like 40,000 BPMs? I'm like, because I don't want to do that. That sounds terrible. You know, because so improvising, I tell people it's like doing some things, it's like doing karaoke to a song you don't know, but then like they don't even give you the words or anything. They just put the music on and they're like,
and go.
well, let's hear what you do. And you're like, I don't know anything. So some you can latch onto really quickly, and then I'll improvise, kind of put my own spin over it. That's usually what I do. But a lot of stuff I know in passing, you know, I'll have heard that record.
Right.
So it's familiar, but it's musically, I was in a place, like, you guys know when you're musicians, it's like, I did it so much. Sorry. Like, even being in bands and recordings and stuff, like, in LA, I've played like in so many bands. Every night I was doing like 2-3 shows a night. I was like a hired gun. You just do it so much that you kind of burn out with it, just like anything. Like, it's a job. So streaming music and doing what, as a drummer, I don't have to do like what other people want me to do, you know, like be that guy in the band. Okay, we're going to play this, or even in a recording session, they're like, we need you to play this. Like this, I could do whatever I want. And some days I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play Beyonce. Some days I don't want to do that. And it's fun. So musically,
No, that makes sense. Because you want to bust out and do what you want, because that's what the whole thing is. It's supposed to be. This is the one place where it really is about you.
Yeah.
And you know what you're trying to promote is what your passion is, because anytime you're creating any kind of content, the passion should show. And if all you're doing is being a human jukebox, unless you really dig that, then it's not going to work. So it makes perfect sense. Like, if someone came into your chat and was like, dude, play this Hate Eternal song, it's a blast beat for 3 minutes straight with alternating kicks. Like, I would do that. Wouldn't. And I don't blame you. Not one bit.
It all depends on the day. It all depends on the day. And, you know, maybe sometimes people catch me in a bad mood and I'm like, dude, get out of here. Like, I'm not... But that's musically like just how it is. Some days you want a cheeseburger, some days you don't, you know. It's a weird feeling, but
can you play Lady Marmalade? No, fuck you, get out.
But
wait, the LaBelle version of Christina Aguilera. Hold on, don't leave.
Yeah. But it makes the stream like, every day is different, and people can come in and request, so I never know what's going to happen, but that usually steers the direction of the stream depending on how the requests go, and that's always fun, you know, because it is different. Or like if someone brings up a question about cymbals, like we'll just talk about that for like an hour, you know. It's like, oh crap, like we haven't played anything.
Dude, we talked about wood and snares for like 45 minutes one day. Like, not snares themselves, just the wood.
Yeah.
Like,
that's me though. I don't know. That's like, if I tell people, I'm like, if you're ever gonna hang out with me, like, this is what I do. I just sit in here and I'm like, and I have a bottle of Lagavulin down there. We'll probably have something to drink and
question for Dan. So for someone wanting to practice their drumming skills, what's a good song to recommend? I think he's asking you for a song that you would say, play this or screw with this, for practice?
Yeah. With my students, I taught everyone kind of differently. It all depends on like music that you're into. I've had teachers over the years that made me play just stuff I hated, right? It's like in school, I hate reading, but I like reading things that I'm interested in. But man, you put a book in front of me like that I'm not interested in, it's just I glaze over it.
If it's the Penthouse Forums.
So with that, I always say play things that you can kind of hear what's going on in the song. And it's okay if it's slow, it's okay if it's not crazy, if it's what some people might say, oh, this song's super easy. Play something that you have a rough idea what's happening. Don't put a song on that's insanely fast and blast beats for days and you're like, you can't even comprehend it, right? So for everyone it's different. But that's the first step. Like pick a song that you kind of can hear what's happening with the drums and go from there. Try your best to emulate it. And yeah, some of the best songs in the world are not fast and they're not crazy. Everyone with drummers, like people that come in, they're always like, play Dragon Force through the fire and flames. It's like you're stupid.
Yeah,
that's not like.
If you look at that on sheet music, it's not.
Yeah.
You look at that song, like on like sheet music or any kind of tab, it's not that interesting. It's just physically impressive. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And it was something that I struggled with throughout my career, which was like, man, if you're gonna write a song that has more time signature changes than lyrics, we're not doing it. Get somebody else. And that's part of why I didn't do a ton of session work, because I was just always like, no, man, like I'm not that guy. If you're hiring me because you like what I already do and you want me to add that flavor to what you're doing. But I'm not here to be the more traditional session where you just hear. I could never be that guy because I have a very distinct style, which is a really, really complicated way of saying I have limited skill set. Like I'm looking at the chimes behind you, and I'll never forget the first gig I ever got hired for because of something else I had done. It's a black metal band, and they're like, "You need to get some chimes." I'm like, "You what? What? I need chimes for in a black metal band?" And they played the song.
So edgy.
It's one song, and it happens once. It's one song. Why don't you just sequence it? Oh, sequencers aren't called. I'm like, give me a break.
At least it wasn't a gong they wanted you to get.
Oh, don't even start on that.
I'd have been into it.
I want to just punch you in the stomach with reverb on. That'll get the same effect. It'll work just fine.
I'd totally been into that.
Yeah, my big thing with music over the years. Yeah,
God.
I don't like you age kind of with it,
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, I thought that's what good drumming was, like fast stuff that I couldn't even attempt to play right, and just you mature as a player, as a listener and stuff. So some of the hardest things that I've ever had to play have been slow and super simple, but it's like making it feel a certain way. That's what really impresses me nowadays.
Staying in the pocket and accenting and playing to the song, regardless of the tempo, regardless of what you're playing to, like that's the hard part. And whether it's super slow or super fast or in the middle, like paying attention to what you're hearing and trying to service that in a way that is musically interesting, not just for you as a player, but to a listener.
Right. Yep.
That's the challenge. And especially when you get into the more extreme stuff, which is what I, hit a wall against with a lot of my peers all throughout my career was, hey man, I'm really impressed that you can do, single stroke kicks at 64 notes at, 280 to 300 BPM. That's really impressive. And I'm never going to try and take that away from you. But if I put an AC/DC song in front of you and you can't play it without triggers, get the fuck out of my house. It's
so yeah. Somebody in chat is asking you another question.
This is actually a good question. Yeah.
So I have a 12-year-old son who has picked the trumpet at school. While not as sexy as drums or guitar, I want to help nurture. Any advice?
Just be supportive. The thing with music, like I have 3 boys, you know, and I'm not like, you're gonna play drums, like get downstairs and sit down at the kit, like whatever they're gravitating towards, just be supportive of them and put up with the like, I know it's gonna suck the first couple of years, it's terrible, but it's because I taught, like I said, I taught private drum lessons like 16 years, and I've had thousands of students, and I had students that come in and they'd be there because, like, you know, their parents were like, you're gonna play drums, and the kid's like, man, I want to play piano. And I'm like, dude, I'll teach you piano, and just, you know, like, we'll, so whatever they're into, like just really get behind them with it if they're excited about it. Yeah, you're already doing it. If you're letting them play trumpet, that's awesome. If they picked it, my teacher in 5th grade, when we picked instruments, I you know, little Dan, I'm like, I'm gonna play the drums, and they went alphabetical order. So by the time they got to Stone, I'll never forget, she's like, Dan, we have enough drums already, but we really need an oboe player. And I was like, fuck off. Yeah.
What?
That's why I didn't get into music till like I was 16, just because I'm like, I want to play drums. So if he's into the trumpet or she, yeah, just put up with the sounds.
Take a lot.
Yeah.
Well, like
that's really cool though. That's awesome.
I'm from a musical family, like forever. Like everyone in my family plays instruments. I had no interest in it until I was like 12.
Yeah.
And I think it was, what was the Terminator? You Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses came out.
Oh yeah.
And the video was the drummer and I had no idea what he was doing. And I saw that and I went, I want to learn how to play the drums.
Yeah.
And nobody ever had to make me practice. Like they had to make me stop practicing, because when you get the love of an instrument, you will drive everybody else around you completely batshit.
Mm-hmm. I had amazing parents. Like my mom was all about it. My dad doesn't like noise, so he'd always be like, are you gonna practice? I'd be like, yeah, and he'd go out in the woods. He'd just like go for a long walk or do something.
Now,
they were really cool about it.
Years later, do your parents come back to you and go, you saved our marriage?
Right. Yeah, I caused them probably
to not have more children.
I moved. Yeah, I grew up here where we moved back to in Pennsylvania, very small town, very country environment. And when I was 18, I'm like, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna go to LA, like just out of the blue, like a week before I was supposed to go back to college.
East or west Pennsylvania?
I'm in the Northeast, so.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like
opposite side of the state from where we're at.
I'm originally from Western Pennsylvania.
Nice. Yeah, it's a big, it's a wide state.
It really is. Like I didn't really think about it, and then you know I left when I joined the Marines. I'd gone all over the place, and eventually ended up in Chicago, which is where the music career really took off. Mm-hmm. But I had all this pedigree in all these really crazy multi-genre bands from Pennsylvania. Like I didn't know at the time when I left that playing multi-genre shows on the regular wasn't a thing in other music scenes. So I came from a scene where you could have a ska band, a punk band, a death metal band, an industrial band, and an indie rock band all on the same bill, and everyone was equally into everything.
Yep.
And then I moved to Chicago, and it's like all metal shows only, all blues shows only. I'm like, this is boring. You know, I don't want to see 6 of the same thing in a row.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird that happens. I mean, do you find that moving back home, where it all started, does that affect you creatively in any way? Are you more comfortable than you were maybe in an environment like LA?
So my wife jokes like I'm basically like Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Like, that's me. Like I'm a lot friendlier, I guess, in real life, but we would watch the show and he's like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to go drink whiskey and like go to my wood shop. I'm like, I want that. So like LA was great for work. It was amazing to teach there and I learned a ton of stuff. but I hated the city. Every moment I was there, even from the beginning when I moved there, I hated it. Like, it's just not me. I like quiet. I don't like the hustle, and everything is just crazy. So moving back, definitely, I've always been in, I guess, a good headspace, but it feels more calmer here, and definitely more, I can think better, if that makes any sense.
More like
it's just
home.
weird.
No, it really does.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, yeah, it feels like home.
There's a lot of things that you have to go through when you're taking on a session or you're writing music or whatever. You already have to build your brain up in your body, and you got to stretch and relax.
Mhm.
And if you're in an uncomfortable environment to begin with, that makes it worse.
Yep.
And you've been in recording studios dozens upon scores and scores of times, more than I have, which is saying something. And studios have a vibe. Some studios you walk into and like you feel welcome, and you can kind of chill and take as much time as you need to and warm up. Some engineers don't have any patience for damn drummers at all.
So
You know, and some drummers have no patience for engineers that take too long. It's like, man, I'm ready to go now. Like, drumming is a lot like procreation of the human race. There's a certain time period in which it's best for people to do it, and if you miss that window, you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow, because it's just you gotta go when the timing is right. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood to play some drums.
So
yeah,
I didn't have that problem. I just needed more beer.
No, dude. For me, more than 2 beers, I'm useless. Absolutely useless. There's video of me trying to play on demand after 5 Jaeger shots. And I embarrassed myself so much. And it wasn't a low-key event. We were shooting a movie, and one of the directors was the drummer from Incantation. And he's like, oh, Jim from Cardiac Arrest here. Let's have him play a song with him. I'm like, no, Kyle, no. No, not tonight, man. I can't. And of course, I went up there and practically fell off the drum stool, and I learned my lesson. I just stopped drinking at those events.
probably
Yeah,
going
I
to be
was
wrapping
totally
things up here in a few minutes. If you have questions, throw them in the chat now, so we can get them. Get Dan to answer whatever you guys want to ask him. Just watching the clock, and I'm going, holy shit! It's
holy
almost
crap!
10:30.
Is it really?
It's
I knew
almost
that- I knew that was
10:30.
gonna happen,
So that's why I said, I'm
Yeah.
just reminding everybody, hey, throw some questions out. Sorry.
Yeah, I was the complete opposite. It was like, and here's your case of beer. I'm like, just the one.
Yeah,
Right.
How long is this gig?
yeah, we would.
Is this gonna be enough?
Yeah, in my 20s is definitely a different story. I'll have a glass with a session, depending on the session. Like, some days, I'll come down here and I'm like, I can knock out these songs really easily. Some days I come down and I'm like, I can't play today. I've never, like,
Right.
you just feel so disconnected, and that's just
Yeah.
how it is. But sometimes I'll have just like a little bit, and it'll take that edge off. Or if I'm just, you start to get a little antsy. But yeah, back in the day, man, it's like,
Let's go.
I get on stage and I'm like, whoa, like, let's go. And I don't know. That's my early 20s.
My wife plays violin, and I have literally watched her walk into her room, pick up everything, get set up, and go, I forgot how to play this fucking thing, and put everything away and walk out.
Yep.
It happens. The weirdest thing.
It's with anything. It's even like I was just doing voice, not even for a video, just for a buddy the other day, and it took me 2 days to do something I can normally do probably in 5 minutes.
Like a simple line, right?
Well, you just your head, your head doesn't line up with your hands and your ears, and nothing clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm old enough to where it's like, I know when it's not clicking, just stop. Just walk
Soul
away.
memory is weird too. Soul memory is really weird because, like, for the first 10 years I was playing, it was very natural and intuitive for me to play like the standard, 2s and 4s, Slayer beat lead with the left kick. For whatever reason, that was easy for me, which anyone else will tell you is like, that is bonkers. You're supposed to lead with the right, supposed to, quote unquote. And then when it came time to get into the Chimes black metal band, they have that that beat that just straight back and forth.
Something I didn't think I'd hear today.
I am so glad he turned his video off.
Oh, I actually did it with my hands too. So, fuck off. They insisted that I do it with the right foot, and it took me like a month to get it to where it was legible and not robotic, but it was fine. And I just kind of got used to leading with the right for a long time. And then years later, we had written this song that had a really cool back and forth kick drum thing, where I was going to be doing flams in between certain things and changing like the timing. So like the snare would go from 1s and 3s to 2s and 4s. It would just be a flam to switch it, and just all. It was just really fun for me as a drummer. And if you were listening, you couldn't really tell. It just, the groove had changed on you. But as a drummer, it was super nerdy and fun. And I couldn't get it right. Like I knew what I wanted to do, and I was just pushing and pushing and pushing. And all of a sudden, what ended up happening was switching feet leads for the first time in like 10 years. And I had done that. And then for all the live shows to support that album, I was doing a lot more leading with the left. So funny how forget something and then it comes back at the weirdest times.
I started out playing jazz, so I understood 3% of what you just said.
Question for Dan. Have you?
I understood flam.
Question from chat for Dan. Have you ever thought about how difficult
I'll send you a video.
It would be to go through something like Rick Allen, the drummer from Def Leppard, and learn how to keep doing what you love while missing an arm? All right, so JD, you're fired because you should have asked this question at the beginning of the show, not at the end, because this is probably going to be a long-ass answer.
It's not.
Well, have I ever thought about it? Yes, like daily, because like this it's my main gig, and my you guys probably can't hear, but my arm just like cracked like in 4 different places.
I
heard it in my heart.
I got that too.
Saws and shit around you.
I just turned my gain down. It's okay.
The thing is, I think he was determined, and I think that's the big thing. You know, I've seen people. There's a dude I went to college with. He had one arm. He was from Israel. His roadside bomb as a kid, just right. So what that guy could do with one arm, like, blew the guy from Def Leppard out of the water. He blew me out of the water. He'd just go up and he'd do a couple little things with the kit, but I think it's all depends on if you really want to do it. Like, you'll make it happen, you know. And like Travis Barker, like, broke his arm. Yeah. He played like Blink shows with like his left arm in the air. I've seen Josh Freese play with a perfect circle. He like blew out his right knee, so he played everything with his left. Just in a day. He's like, oh, I'll figure it out. We'll make it work. So
you got guys like Roddy who started putting like a snare drum with a pedal just for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
And you see stuff like that, and you hear like the way that they're doing it. It's like, well, anything's really possible if you want to do it and if you're willing to put in the time. It's
exactly
crazy.
Yeah. So that's something I don't want to think about, but
hey,
we've all thought about it because of that, dude. And it's like, if I still wanted to play, I could do it because I'll find the time. But if you love anything like that, I've seen one-armed archers, like in the flesh, like standing next to me, and they had a rig that they had made with the hook on it to where they could notch an arrow. And
I was gonna say, like, they use their mouth, like what?
That's amazing.
No, I guess it depends on which arm and how you're gonna shoot, I guess. But like, there's basically a hook, and it was hooked to the shoulder, and they'd light up their shot with their left arm.
I've seen it,
and then twitch,
I've seen
and
it
would
the
release.
other way.
I was just like,
where they
that actually makes a lot. That's awesome, dude.
You see the one-arm guy where they'll have an arm that they use to hold, an artificial arm to hold their bow, and then they'll have their actual arm as their their release or arrow, whatever the fuck. So, all right. So, Dan, we're getting towards the end of the show. We usually, at the end of the show, ask every guest the same 5 questions. But before we do that, Jim likes to jump into a diatribe of sorts.
Did you change the question that we said we were going to change, though?
Which one was that?
Never mind. Just go with it. Jim, do the thing.
Folks, we appreciate each and every one of our listeners and viewers, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, or at Podbean or any of the other podcast aggregates out there. Thank you so much for your support. And if you want to take that support a little bit further, you can go to Patreon. DestinyUnfiltered.com/Patreon or Patreon.com/DestinyUnfiltered. where you get exclusive content, which is both audio and video, access to private raids, PvP matches, you name it. Here to support you, and maybe you even vote on a gamer tag for Ryan. You never know. The best way to find out is to show up and pledge your support. And when you do that, you're not just helping us, you're helping everybody like us that might want a voice at GCX. That's right, folks. 2020, we're going to be at GCX with our own booth, supporting other people just like you. Patreon.com/Destiny Unfiltered will get you where you need to be. And just go to DestinyUnfiltered.com for all of our social links, including Patreon. Thanks for the support. You're the best part of Destiny Unfiltered. Thank you so much.
I didn't run this past these guys. What I'm thinking about doing for like the entry level Patreon, because we have to start throwing some stuff on there, is like once a week. So if you do like the bare minimum, I could commit to doing a video where I can just answer any question. It could be like my opinion about stuff in the game. It could be a question about me. My opinion on something, I would put some caveats because there's just some things I'm not talking about ever. It's like we're not going to talk about the family. We're not going to talk about religion. We're not going to talk about politics. Other than that, I'm good though. But I'm thinking, I had that thought earlier. I was just like, I'm not even going to tell these guys. I'm going to spring that at the end. So, haha, I have a microphone. There's nothing you can do about it.
Well, I can mute you. Remember, I have all the buttons and knobs on this end. So, all right.
Go live on my own channel. It's fine.
All right, Dan. So, last 5 questions of the night.
Yep.
First one, what is your favorite food?
Steak.
Good answer.
All right. Show over. You
Sorry.
won.
Good answer.
A good steak.
That was the correct answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to double your money or answer the next question?
It's potatoes.
How are you skinny? Favorite drink, alcoholic and non-alcoholic?
My favorite drink is Lagavulin. It's down there.
The fuck is that?
It's
He's going for it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, hold on.
I'll wait. I'm into it.
Scottish whiskey.
Yes.
Oh.
That's my drink of choice.
Now you must bring some to Guardian Con next year and share with
I'm gonna
Rick.
need links.
You have
He
to.
can't hear you yet.
You have to bring some with you to Guardian Con next year and share it with Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
Hey,
we could
one
just
of my
go to
chopped
a local-
liver?
We could just go to a liquor store and pick up a bottle. You won't have to actually transport it. I mean,
Fair enough.
Yeah. But this
So
is
like-
like
And you
my.
can get that in liquor stores?
There, I have to go pretty far here in Pennsylvania. But we were watching Parks and Rec, and this is Swanson's favorite. And when he pops it up, like on the show, my wife looks over. She's like, "Oh my god, like, you are him." This guy's my.
Oh, so you were already drinking that before you saw it in the show?
Yeah, like spirit animal, fully. Non is coffee. I drink a ton of coffee, probably
Dude,
12
you drink
cups
it.
throughout the day. I drink a lot of coffee. Yeah.
So, I doubt you're going to have an answer for this one. But what is your dream job? I imagine you are already doing it.
Yeah, my dream job, a pilot. I always like that's a goal before I'm dead to get like a pilot's license, and we have a lot of fields here where I grew up, and I want to get like have like a little grass runway kind of thing. That's my dream job, is just fly around, you know.
just such a horrible idea.
Unexpected answer is unexpected. I like this.
That's how the guy John Kennedy Jr. Man, don't do it.
It's a good way to go, though. I'd rather go that way than.
Except for the last
also
10
how-
seconds where you hit that oh shit moment.
It's also how Payne Stewart died, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of.
They got John Denver.
Buddy, Holly,
Richie Valens, Skinner, man.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, God.
All right. Favorite guilty pleasure, game, movie, and music that you normally don't tell people about.
I don't really have I don't know. I do like.
JD
I like
porn.
Mafia, like Mafia. Wish I had time for that. I say like I just finished Sopranos, like Mafia movies, TV shows. That's kind of like my guilty pleasure, or like really intense TV shows. That's kind of my thing that I like. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Everything else I kind of do daily.
What do you
now?
All right, let's do it this way. Guilty pleasure musically. Who do you listen to that nobody would guess that you listen to?
Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Like, it sounds silly, but everyone will come into my chat, and I kind of look like a rocker dude some days, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna play like a Taylor Swift song. I love them. And they're like, what?
So I'll tell you
Taylor
this.
Swift?
100 years ago, I used to work as a radio DJ in a country station back when Taylor Swift was country. And I got to interview her. And I know that the stories out there is she is a horrible cunt. And I know that. Yeah. But she was the nicest girl.
Yeah, I've heard.
She was a sweetheart.
I've heard she's super nice.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely one of the best interviews I ever got to do. And
that's awesome.
Fucking clip that, please.
What?
We broke it.
All right. So our
Man
final
down! Man down! Man down!
That's awesome. It wasn't me this week, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
So,
me either.
Sorry that I broke you. But our final question, Jim always asks, so we'll let Jim get the last one.
Yes, this is a drum nerd question. It's a simple one, but it's the one. It's the first one I always ask if I don't already know the answer when I need a drummer. Chain drive or direct drive, and why?
Double chain. Because I've had the same pedal since 2002. I've had never had a reason to switch. I've tried direct drives, but yeah, I have an old faithful Iron Cobra that I've taken apart, put back together probably 100 times, and it's never let me down. So I've never really had a desire to get something different. There hasn't been anything I couldn't do on that, but
right.
I see the appeal of direct drive, but I don't think my play style would really change too much if I got one. So if it ain't broke, I don't fix it.
I get it. If you ever want to come to the dark side, I can get you in touch with Axis. I used to be endorsed by them.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I've played on an Axis pedal. Those are super light. That was the thing. I play with like pretty heavy beaters, and I make like my own beaters for them, so they're a little heavy. Those feel super light.
There's a way to get the longboard. There's a way to get that to go really well for you. So I had to make me custom beaters that are super heavy and top heavy, and I threw weights underneath it. Then I pulled the beater back and then maxed out the tension, and I would play towards the back of the board and do kind of a heel swivel and hip flexors, so I could get a lot of power and everything else. So it kind of came down to it. And then if you really want to lay into it, you still can and get that same feeling you would from like a DW 5000 AH or a 9000 or the Iron Cobra, like that feel. You can make that happen, but it's a total different way of like rewiring your head as far as how bass drum pedals work. So you have to kind of relearn the instrument a little bit. But as I was getting older, for me, it became, I can do the same things with slightly less effort, but if I want to really lay into it, I still can. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But Iron Cobra is like, I would love to hate you for saying that, but that's one of the best pedals ever made. Like, my buddy Gene is always on about Camco. He's had the same Camco set for 20 years. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, my big thing with gear, I was really picky at one time, and then when I started gigging a lot, like you don't get to take your own stuff. Maybe cymbals if you're lucky. So every big club in LA, like Roxy Whiskey, even like the Cat Club, Viper Room, those older clubs, you play on a kit that's probably been there since Guns N' Roses played on them, back in the 80s. And the gear, like you hit the tom and it goes, you're like playing the gig, holding up stuff. So I just, anytime I get to play on that, I'm like, thank God,
Right.
So I've always had that like make the best out of what I'm working with. But I do like the direct drive stuff. I do see a lot of potential. I'm not a long board guy, though. I do enjoy the short boards.
We can still be friends, though.
Rick, you want to put together a raid real quick?
I already did. Ha ha!
All right. So
I think you're dealing with. I'm quasi sober tonight.
Deal with boy.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It went by super quick.
No, that's all right. So if people want to find you on it, Jim just completely out of rhythm. Fucked me up altogether. It was like, okay, then are you done? Because I can't see his
I'm done.
face. We can't do the Black Widow Hulk thing because he has no camera. Can't do that thing this
Doing
week.
it.
So
I'm really doing it, guys. Sun's getting low. I'm doing it. All right.
okay, it's not the same. It's not the same.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, baby.
And if
Next week.
people want to find you and follow you on the internet, where can they find you?
Just everywhere, DanDrumStone. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm terrible with messages. I'm so sorry. But I stream on Twitch, 5-6 days a week. So you'll find me there.
Facts. Always
find
when
him
I'm
there
at work.
listening
Just
to
FYI.
Taylor Swift.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Or recently, better Beyonce.
Oh, Jesus.
All right,
Folks,
Rick.
if you want to find us, you can go to destinyunfiltered.com. It has all of the links. It'll take you everywhere. Take you to the YouTubes. Take you to our Chatterbait. Wait, no, we haven't turned that on yet. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, somebody had to throw it out there. But no, brother, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a pleasure. If everybody hanging out in the chat, thank you so much for the chat. If you're listening to us in the future on audio, we love your face. You are amazing. But okay, anybody got anything else? No, excellent. All right, stand by for raid. We're doing this in apparently like 8 seconds or so. Jim, hum something.
Mm-hmm.